Business Focus, brought to you by KCB. KCB, making the difference.
Building a home is an achievement, but what is a home without accessories? Accessories do bring out that unique feel and look, which gives homes that unique look, bringing out the characteristics of homeowners. And well, entrepreneurs are taking advantage of these opportunities and coming up with unique ways of doing interior design and also accessorizing. And this is our major focus tonight. Good evening, my name is Joy Doreen Bira. Here's what's coming up on tonight's edition of KTN Business Focus. We highlight the emerging trends in home decor and accessorizing. We tell you how a lady entrepreneur is utilizing her passion for economic gains. And in the regional markets, we look at Kenya Kanga and tell you how it is economically empowering women. And as always, we welcome your feedback on the show on our email address bf@standardmedia.co.ke or SMS number 8041. Remember, you can also reach us on our social media platforms displayed on your screen. Business begins now. Business Beyond Limits tonight highlights the creative methods in interior design and accessorizing of homes and companies. And tonight we take you to Nairobi-based Classic Moldings Limited and tell you the role it plays in interior design and accessorizing, and also how the business is doing economically. Interior design and accessorizing are two important elements when it comes to building a home or a business premise. These elements utilize and shape up the interior space to bring out the best look, thus improving their aesthetic feel. Nonetheless, interior design and accessorizing are yet to be considered important by many homeowners in Kenya, despite being valuable services that one ought not to discount. Classic Moldings Limited is an interior decor company based in Nairobi, dealing with construction and finishing of interiors for homes and companies, as well as supply of interior decorating products. Apart from the business economic benefit, the company is making a significant contribution to interior design, a factor attributed to its core principles of artistic approach to the client's work, as well as assurance of quality.
Classic Moldings was actually started back in the day when interior design was not recognized in this country. So there has been a struggle to get to where we are because we had to be accepted in the market, but actually in the entire Kenya. And we're proud to say that we have grown to be one of the biggest interior design construction firms in East and Central Africa.
Classic Moldings Limited provides a wide range of interior decor services with major concentration on ceilings, walls and floors. The range of services has been constantly evolving depending on the trends and market demand.
Generally, we were dealing with only moldings. That's the name Classic Moldings. Architectural moldings, which are for cornicing, for skirting, or for chair rails. That's made out of polyurethane or polystyrene. That is what Classic Moldings was dealing with. Eventually, we realized that there was a niche in the market for decorative wall finishes. And research, we did a lot of research. Our director went to Israel and came back with a special wall finish called Terra. Terra is the origin of all special wall finishes in this country.
With the continued market research, Classic Moldings Limited identified a gap in ceiling and therefore ventured into other countries to source for better solutions. Eventually, they brought in the gypsum dryboard, a feature initially associated with the Western world. Apart from its great look, gypsum dryboard has a myriad of advantages, which include excellent sound insulation, flexibility to construction needs, crack resistance, as well as undoubted strength and durability. Another key element is the decorative columns.
We have the decorative columns that can be used both as load-bearing and non-load-bearing. They themselves are non-load-bearing, but if you have a load-bearing column, you can open up the decorative one and close the load-bearing one. Well, the only thing you have to make sure is that your load-bearing is definitely smaller in diameter than our decorative columns, but it improves the look of the house, and of course you're not stuck with that ugly column in the middle of the house.
As people move towards securing the natural vegetation by minimizing the use of trees, Classic Moldings has introduced new materials that are becoming perfect alternatives to the use of beams for interior decoration.
One of our latest solutions as far as moldings are concerned is the wooden beam. We call it, it's actually a false beam because it's made out of polyurethane, but it does look exactly like a wooden beam. If you use wooden beams, the actual wooden beams, you have to cut down a tree. Now, the polyurethane, you cut no tree, but you still have the look that you intend to have, that you really want to have, which is actually a much neater look. And this polyurethane is much lighter and definitely lower in cost than having to use a pure mahogany wood.
There are a number of recent innovative ideas for home accessorizing introduced by Classic Moldings Limited. These include roof windows and skylights as well as attic ladders.
This is what we call the new revolution in interiors. The roof windows are an opportunity for any house owner to actually increase the livable space of his house by having a roof window in the roof, installed in the roof, no water problem. And this changes the entire concept of a loft. Suddenly you can have a loft as a very, very warm and what we call the best room in the house. And all you need to do is to clad the interiors, put some windows in the roof as much as you need to get enough light.
Along with the roof window came the sunlight tunnel. Sunlight tunnel brings in natural light from the roof into a room below the attic, which means it has this tube in between the roof and the ceiling, and then it taps the sunlight into probably a corridor. Most of our corridors don't have enough light. Our bathrooms don't have enough light. You have to switch on electricity. Now the sunlight tunnel helps you to reduce your electricity bill. Along with that, there is the attic ladder. The attic ladder is basically for accessing the attic. If you're using the attic for storage, most of our folks use the attic for water tanks.
It's actually a matter of a moment. It's like 2-3 seconds of opening, pulling, and watch the camera. And here it is open, and even people of my weight can enjoy going up and very safely. It's a secured product and we bring it from Europe.
Apart from the contribution Classic Moldings has made to the industry, it has also played a major role in empowerment of others. The company employs slightly more than 100 people. Classic Moldings Limited is a clear demonstration of how interior design and accessorizing can revolutionize a home. And even as the company prides for their innovations, they are still on the lookout for even better, innovative ways of interior design and accessorizing. In the Emerging Enterprises, we feature an entrepreneur whose passion for home decor and accessorizing has led her to expanding her small business into a prospective large enterprise. This and more after the break. Don't go away. There are 1,001 opportunities available for entrepreneurs out there. However, it takes an eye and mind of an entrepreneur to identify and transform an idea into a viable business. Juliet is a young entrepreneur in home and decor accessorizing, and though she has no professional background in interior design, she has managed to establish a business. She tells us that her biggest motivation to starting her business is interest and passion for interior design, as well as inspiration from friends, family and neighbors.
Most people would come to my house, and when they come they would say, "We think you really have a touch of how to place what and where goes where." So most of them would actually ask me for advice, and I'd actually be shocked because I'm thinking probably when I was doing it for my own house, I was really not too serious about it, but someone else is taking it seriously.
Within a short period of time, Juliet was certainly on the move. She acquired her own materials and started decorating friends' and neighbors' houses. With no set shop, she started selling from her house as well as her car, with her house doubling up as a showroom.
When I started getting clients on board, then I got more confident. I started with one person. My sister-in-law came to my house. She lives in Canada, but she comes every 6 months. She came to my house, she liked my chairs, and she said these are the chairs she has to get. And so I told her I can actually do them for you, and so I did the chairs for her. She recommended me to her friend in China, so I furnished her house in China, a house in Kisumu for her friend who lives in China. So I did everything, and then when the friend came, we loaded the items into a canter and ferried to Kisumu, and she did her house arrangement, and she's very happy with the sofa set. So then now it's all complete in terms of house decor, furniture, yeah, and I'm slowly now moving into gardening also.
Juliet believes that in interior decor and accessorizing business, one does not need to look far beyond, but with creativity and proper utilization of the surrounding environment, one can identify objects and things that can be put into better use through modification.
Mainly I do, for house decor, I do vases, decorative vases, and I also do flowers, mainly dried flowers, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Like as I showed you inside my house, I go around and I pick dried twigs and I actually place them in a pot, and it gives it this African look. And it doesn't cost me much, but it does an amazing job in terms of decorating the house. So for me, it's really working with the things that are around you and giving them a new function, a new meaning.
Juliet's business has been running for less than a year, but her achievements so far have been impressive, a clear demonstration that entrepreneurship definitely pays.
I've tasted and I'm happy so far, and I'm trusting God for growth. As I mentioned to you, I'm hoping to open a shop where I can now begin to display, because most of the work I do is on order. When people make orders, or when someone gives me their house to do the placements, then I'm able to work around with them on what items to buy. So for now, I really do not stock, but I buy as per the need. Yeah, so I'm hoping that with time I'll be able to set up shop where I can at least showcase my different collections in terms of decorative items for the house, from the sitting room to the kitchen. You know, you can do a 3-piece of kitchen canisters, and it just gives a wow factor to your kitchen. It really doesn't have to be a lot of stuff. That 3-piece kitchen canister, a beautiful one with color, will just do it, and that's it. So then I'm looking at yeah, growing and getting there. I've just started, but I'm hoping and I believe I'll get there.
In the regional market segment this week, we speak to the proprietor of Kanga collection here in Nairobi City, who tells us how she was inspired by the Kanga, which is commonly used by African women, and how she is transforming the interior design industry, coming up with these very creative, unique accessories made from the African Kanga. Kanga collection was started in 2005 to reverse the perception many have that all things good for home accessories should be imported. Gemma McCrane is the proprietor behind this unique line of business that has not only attracted local customers but also the international market. The Kanga that appears a little too ordinary is now beautifying homes of many in and out of the country. So where did the idea and creativity grow to this?
I actually worked up in Lamu. It was one of my jobs. I was relief manager. And actually at the time, because it was so hot at the coast, I would make my own clothes, just, you know, sort of the kaftan to wear or something. So then it was, I think it was sort of triggered from there that actually it's a great fabric and people, you know, would like to use them. It's, to be honest, I'm quite surprised. Kangas have been around for years. It's such a reflection of the Kenyan, African, you know, East African woman. Every woman wears a Kanga. So I don't know, I'm amazed that people haven't got into that market beforehand. I mean, now there's a lot of it, but I remember at the time doing a lot of research, there was very little there.
Starting this business was no easy task when it came to marketing the product, getting different products made and making profits out of the Kanga. With one tailor at the beginning, she has now grown to over a dozen at the workshop, more orders, and diversified into home decor and accessories that are a hot cake. From bantings, Kanga bags, double oven meats, napkins, placemats, seats, dining table accessories, and many more.
It's a very bright, very loud fabric. People often have colour schemes in their houses and so on. So we make very generic stuff, but we do a lot of orders. People come in and say, you know, my kitchen's a blue theme. You know, can you make me sets of placemats, oven gloves, and that type of thing? So we're very easy, and we can do that type of thing.
Besides the African attire that is here in the shop, there's a whole lot of home accessories that are made here at the Kanga collection, and like the apron I'm wearing over here, and also a number of others like the oven gloves that can, you know, do a very good job in your home and also accessorize it in the best way African. Kanga collection now attracts increased market demand from the Kenyan market and abroad.
I think locally we do it for a lot of people sort of live in the areas and so on, you know, because they want stuff done. You know, I said, you know, we do eyes, uniforms, household help and so on. There are a lot of expats, you know, it's a great gift to send home from Africa. It really is. It's got a great product. We try and keep the quality high enough that when it does go abroad, it's good enough to use in homes and give away to gifts. Again, on that, the tourists love it. But, you know, I use it. You know, we sort of use it at home. You know, people who have coast properties or country properties or camps, it's a great way to fit out your lodge or camp affordably. And using local stuff. You know, there's so much coming into the market. You've got all this cheap stuff from, you know, China, India. People love the sort of Bali influence type thing. However, I've definitely seen a trend back towards fitting out, you know, tourist places with local fabrics as opposed to, you know, thinking stuff from overseas is better.
African as these products appear, the returns from this seemingly too simple Kanga are impressive.
Between orders and sales in our shop and 2 other shops we have, probably 300,000–400,000 shillings on good months.
The mother of two who dabbles as a manager of a real estate and tour company says despite the regional success of the Kanga collection, there are challenges to deal with in this line of business.
One of the big ones we still find is the, I suppose, people copying us. It's a very generic, you know, anybody can go and buy a Kanga and anyone can try and do it. So all the way through, and, you know, every few months as new business pops up, but I think we're very lucky to be able to sort of continue on. With competition. Competition obviously makes you stronger. You know, you have to fine-tune your products, you have to keep the quality up.
The festive season or Christmas season and July, August, the busiest safari seasons, reap the most profits for Kanga collection.
All our accessories do really well. That's all, you know, tourists going back home wanting to take a piece of Kanga with them.
with that, we've come to the end of tonight's edition of KTN Business Focus. I hope you've learned something and you've been inspired. And as we come to the end, I would like to say, be you, be free, be happy. Life's a journey, and don't give up just because you knocked one stone. Get up, brush your feet, and move on. Your reward is just round the corner. And I would like to say from the rest of the KTN team and myself, thank you all for watching Business Focus. Remember to reach us on our SMS 8041 and also our email address bf@standardmedia.co.ke. Our social media platforms are right open for you. Well, good night and God bless you.
Business Focus, brought to you by KCB. KCB, making the difference.